If you're thinking about the Retina MacBook, get ready to throw down some serious cash. But there are ways to save some money. First, let's go over what we know. On June 11th, we found out about some of the big secrets Apple has been trying to keep under wraps here in Cupertino. One of them was the Retina MacBook. In previous videos, I was hoping that Apple would just offer a resolution bump across all price points, but it turns out they would rather keep Retina on the iPhone, iPad, and the Retina MacBook Pro. Now, the 2012 MacBook Pro comes in two different screen sizes, and the 17-inch has been quietly discontinued. Even though the 13-inch has the same resolution as the old models, it does have some improvements. The processor jumps to a dual-core 2.5 GHz i5 that turbo boosts to 3.1 GHz, and it has 4 gigs of improved 1600 MHz DDR3 RAM and a 500 gig standard hard disk drive. For $300 more, you get a dual-core 2.9 GHz i7 that turbo boosts to 3.6 GHz, 8 gigs of RAM, and 750 gigs of storage, but you don't get a discrete graphics card in either of these models. Now on the 15-inch MacBook Pros, the display is the same as before, but you do get the quad cores and a better discrete graphics card. The base model has a 2.3 i7, 4 gigs of RAM, and a 500 gig hard drive. You also get the NVIDIA GeForce GT 650M with 512 megabytes of GDDR5 memory. For $400 more, you get a 2.6 i7, 4 more gigs of RAM, and 250 more gigs of storage, and 512 more megs of GDDR5 memory. If you want a better display for $100, you get a build-to-order high-res anti-glare display, offering 1680 by 1050 resolution. Now, all these models have the 720p FaceTime HD camera. For input-output ports, you get Ethernet, FireWire 800, Thunderbolt, two USB 3.0 ports, SDXC card slot, and audio in and out slots. You still have 802.11n Wi-Fi, and now you get Bluetooth 4.0. Finally, we have the 15-inch MacBook Pro Retina display. Here you get the 2880 by 1800 resolution introduced at the WWDC 2012, support for up to 16 gigs of RAM, and the same NVIDIA GT 650M with 1 gig of GDDR5 memory. The base model has the 2.3 GHz i7, 8 gigs of RAM, and a 256 gig SSD. For $600, you get the 2.6 i7 and 256 gigs more of storage. On all the Retina MacBooks, you lose the Ethernet, FireWire, optical, and audio in ports, but you do get an HDMI port, 2 speakers, and dual microphones for better sound and video. I'll post a video update here as soon as we find out more information about the user upgradable parts like extra RAM or a cheaper SSD. For example, today you can buy 8 gigs of RAM for under $80, or a 256 gigabyte SSD for $1 per gig, because I don't like paying more than I have to when it comes to performance and quality. Subscribe for updates and hopefully better prices. There are ways to buy a Retina MacBook Pro without paying an arm and a leg.